Life presents itself as an overwhelming stream of data. Birth, social conflict, the natural world, it moves faster than we can process. To understand it, we need a way to organize this chaos, effectively setting up a mental notebook for the human experience. We generally begin by gathering knowledge. This is empirical data, information we collect through our senses and the mind. However, this data is inherently limited and can be altered by our perceptions. In contrast, wisdom is defined as a truth obtained through the spirit or the self. While knowledge is often fallible, wisdom is considered an unalterable, unlimited understanding of reality. Philosophy moves past casual observation to establish a persistent, systematic inquiry. It investigates our underlying assumptions, aiming to find a remedy for the recurring problems of life. To turn these observations into actual wisdom, we cannot address every mystery at once. We must divide the inquiry into distinct, systematic branches. We can map this notebook into 4 specific quadrants: metaphysics, epistemology and logic, ethics, and religion. In the Indian tradition, this pursuit of inquiry is called Darsana, which literally means intuitive vision. While some traditions treat these branches as independent academic exercises, Darsana treats them as an integrated system working toward a singular goal. This approach relies on revelations from sages that are then tested and structured by rigorous logical reasoning. The metaphysical and logical frameworks here are not for abstract debate. They are designed as the practical means to reach moksa, or ultimate liberation. Let's fill out the first quadrant, metaphysics. This is the intellectual analysis of realities that transcend the physical, material world. It investigates the deepest intricacies of reality, whether the ultimate truth is singular or plural, and whether we possess a permanent, abiding self. Philosophers have historically used logical arguments, like cosmological or teleological proofs, to attempt to substantiate the existence of an ultimate reality or God. That focus on proof leads to the second quadrant, logic and epistemology. To understand logic, we distinguish between 2 types of science. Positive sciences study things exactly as they are. Normative sciences prescribe how things ought to be. Logic is a normative science. It provides the systematic rules for how one ought to think, a framework championed by classical thinkers like Aristotle. Epistemology, or the theory of knowledge, analyzes the origin and nature of our thoughts, as well as the validity of what we claim to know. While metaphysics identifies the structure of reality, logic and epistemology provide the rigorous tools to verify that reality. The third quadrant is ethics. This is the normative science of human conduct in relation to society and the environment. Morality often begins with simple habits. When large numbers of people adopt these habits, they become customs, forming what we call customary morality. However, reflective morality judges actions based on their deeper components, the motivation, the intention, and the final consequence of the behavior. The fourth quadrant is religion. In a philosophical sense, this branch focuses on establishing a rapport with the ultimate reality. Religion anchors abstract metaphysical ideas through practice, using devotion and ritual to address fundamental human concerns, like the problem of evil. Ethics dictates how we should act, and religion provides the experiential framework for connecting with the divine. Together, these 4 quadrants complete our basic philosophical model. In the Indian tradition, these 4 distinct branches merge into the unified concept of Darsana. This tradition is further divided into 2 categories: orthodox or Astika systems and heterodox or Nastika systems. Astika schools are those that accept the authority of the ancient Vedic scriptures as their foundational source of truth. Heterodox systems, like Buddhism, reject Vedic authority. Despite this, they remain a core part of the Indian philosophical tradition. Both sides share a common starting point: the recognition that life is filled with pain, strife, and mystery. Critics sometimes call this focus on suffering pessimistic. However, Indian thinkers see it as a necessary diagnostic step. Darsana treats the identification of pain as a prerequisite. By isolating the causes of suffering, the system builds the specific methodology required to move past it. To move past that suffering, Indian philosophy employs a hierarchy of human values known as the purusarthas. At the base are the lower values: kama, or sensuous pleasure, and artha, the material wealth that serves as a means to achieve it. Above them is the higher value of dharma, or righteousness. Dharma acts as a regulator for the material values beneath it. At the very apex is the highest value, moksa, the ultimate liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Progress toward this goal is governed by the law of karma, the principle that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. This is broken into 3 types. Sanchita karma is the vast reservoir of past actions that have been stored over time. Agamic karma represents the new results we accumulate through our current volitional behavior. Finally, prarabdha karma, actions already yielding results. Like an arrow leaving the bow, they are in motion and must finish their course. By mastering dharma, a person manages their karma. This is the methodology required to ascend the hierarchy of values and finally reach the state of moksa. We can now see how the initial branches of our notebook connect to these specific mechanisms. The study of ethics is directly linked to the management of karma and the pursuit of dharma. Simultaneously, metaphysics and epistemology provide the conceptual map needed to achieve self-realization and liberation. It forms a clear progression. Moral training and ethical behavior are the necessary prerequisites for grasping higher metaphysical truths. In Darsana, intellectual study alone is insufficient. One must act according to ethical principles to reach the point where true metaphysical understanding becomes possible. Indian philosophy uses the most rigorous intellectual tools as a practical instrument. In this framework, logic and metaphysics are the means used to navigate the soul towards its final release. The ultimate aim of this process is ananda, a state of everlasting happiness that is entirely devoid of pain. Many thinkers hold that this liberation, jivan mukti, is not just a state for the future, it can be achieved while still living in the physical body. This model pairs a structured taxonomy of reality with an actionable path towards liberation. The vision identifies the truth, and the mission achieves the result.